So I picked 3 topics to work on for this week, on things which will be on the test. Some questions on rounding, some questions on time, and some questions on averages. For the questions on rounding, read it carefully to see how many decimal places you're going to be rounding to. And then all you do, so it says here 1 decimal place. So you identify where 1 decimal place is. So that's the 5. So that means we want it to cut off here. We check the digit to the right. None of the other digits matter, just that one. Because that digit is greater than 5, you need to round this one up by 1. Okay? Same here. You're going to cut it down there, because we only want 1 decimal place. The digit to the right, so that one there, because that's greater than 5, you need to round this one up, and so on, okay? So split. Check that digit there. It's less than 5, so that's going to stay the same, okay? We call it rounding down, but really it means we keep it as 42.9. And on this one, you have to be a little bit careful here. Because the digit we're going to have to round up is greater than 5, so we're going to have to round this one up. Because we can't round up to anything else, what you get is you get sort of 8.10, which we can't have. So we bump that 1, we carry that over to here. So you're going to get 9.0, and it's really important that you write that 0, because the question's told you it wants the answers with 1 decimal place. So if you just write 9, even though it's got the same value, it's not going to be correct. You need to have that 1 digit after the decimal point. It's going to be exactly the same thing on these questions here, okay? So you're going to draw a line after your first decimal place and look at the digit to the right of that to decide what you're going to do with the digit on the left. Okay. Question 3, these work exactly the same, except this time it's to 2 decimal places. Okay, so you need to count 2 digits after the decimal. It's still the same procedure. You're still going to look to the digit on the right to decide what you're going to do with the digit on the left. Same thing again here, these are to 2 decimal places. The final question on this page is just 1 question rounding to 1 decimal place, 1 question rounding to 2 decimal places, and 1 question rounding to 3 decimal places. Just summarising what you've done on the last page. Question 6, I want you to change these times to 24-hour clock. The format the answers are on is like this. So hour, colon, and then it's your minutes, again 2 digits for your minutes, and then you need to put either AM or PM. Okay. This one's almost perfect as it is, but this one here, this definitely needs converting. Basically, once we get to 13 o'clock, so here we've got 12:45, so this one's not right, but once we go past 13, if we're looking at the 12-hour clock system, then once we get to 13, to convert it back to 12 hours, we subtract 12 off the hours section. Okay, so here's my hours and here's my minutes, so all you have to do is subtract 12 off the hours section and then put AM or PM, again in this format. So hour, 2 digits for the hour, colon, minute, AM or PM. if we're going the other way around, we want to convert to the 24-hour clock, then it makes sense, it works the other way around. So this time you're going to add 12 onto the hours section. And then be careful, when we get to midnight, the last time we sort of use 24-hour clock is 23:59. Once we go past that, the clock goes back to the beginning sort of, because it's the start of a new day. Once it turns midnight, a new day is starting. So when we start a new day, that's 0000. For question 7, we want half of 7 minutes and 24 seconds. So I'd split this down and work out what half of 7 minutes is. And you're going to get that in minutes. It's going to be something minutes and something seconds. And then split 24 seconds down in half. So you're going to get something seconds. And then these, we're going to put these together. So you're going to have your something minutes, and then these seconds need to be added together. And if your seconds add up to more than 60, that makes another minute, okay? On question 8, we've got 3 different days here, so I'm just going to split it down so it's clearer to see. We're asked the shortest distance, so you're going to compare the distances on each day. And then you're asked the longest time, so you're going to compare the time on each day. Notice how it tells you the format of the time. It's hours, minutes, seconds. And then David's total cycling time, so you're going to have to add up his 3 times, okay? Remembering that if your seconds, so you add them up separately. So I'd start from the right hand side like we do usually. So I'd add up the seconds, and if it comes to more than 60, then that's going to be another minute, and anything over 60 is the remaining seconds. Same thing for the minutes, I'd add up your minutes. And if your minutes come to more than 60, then that's another hour. So you need to add one onto the hours column. And anything left over would be your leftover minutes. On these questions here, you just got to read it carefully. So Kevin watches a concert at the theatre. It ends at 8:40 and it takes him 22 minutes to get from there to the train station. So what you want to do is you want to add on 22 minutes to 8:40. Remember that's only 20 minutes till 9 o'clock, so till 9 p.m. So be careful with that. I remember to get from your 12-hour clock, this is written 12-hour, but the train times are written 24-hour. So once you know the time in 12-hour clock, add 12 onto it so you can compare it to these times, because these are in 24-hour clock. Once you've got it written in your 24-hour clock, then you're going to pick the next time that comes after your time. So whenever he gets there, the first train, so the one that's closest after that. So we don't want anything before, the closest one that comes after the time he arrives at the train station. Once you do that, we want to know how long will Kevin have to wait. So that's just the difference between your 2 times, okay? So the difference between the time he gets there and the time the train is. Question 10. Phil's going to watch 4 episodes and each are 40 minutes long, okay? So it's just 4 lots of 40 minutes, but but remember that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So however many 60s there are, that will be your hours bit here. And then any leftover minutes will go there. Okay? Question 11. Craig has got 4 lessons in the morning. Lesson 1 starts at 8:35 and each lesson is 60 minutes long. So each lesson is 1 hour long. There's a 15-minute break between lessons 1 and 2. When does lesson 4 end? So basically he's going to start at this time here. He's going to do 4 lessons which are 1 hour each. So you just need to add 4 hours onto his start time. And then you need to add on his 15-minute break that he had between lessons 2 and 3. So add on 4 hours, add on the 15-minute break, give the time his lesson ends. Question 12, and 13, I'm not going to show 13, but that's the same thing, we're being asked averages. So a reminder of those, the mode is the most common. So you look at the numbers and whichever one appears most often, that will be your mode. Sometimes there's more than one mode, in which case you say both of the numbers if they appear equally often. In this case, I think there's just one mode. The median, so that is the middle. So, but only the middle when they're in order. If they're in some random order, then the middle is completely meaningless. So the first thing you've got to do is rewrite your numbers in order. Double check you get them all. So there should be 10 numbers once they're in order. And then you're going to work your way in. So you put your finger or your pen on the outsides and you're going to work your way into the middle. In this case, when you get to the middle, there's 2 numbers in the middle. If those numbers are the same, it's easy. That's your median. If those numbers are different, you have to go for halfway between those 2 numbers. So if you got to the middle and had 8 and 9, then the median would be 8.5, 8.5. If you got to the middle and had 10 and 12, then the middle would be 11, because it's halfway between those 2. The mean is where you add them up and divide by how many. So in this case, you're going to divide by 10, because there's 10 numbers. And then the range is how different are your numbers, so how spread apart are they? And you can work that out by finding the biggest number, finding the smallest number, and doing biggest take away smallest. And that tells you the difference, or we call that the range. Same again for the last question.